And even shorter than I expected, here we are with Tuaolo for Cat Quest 2. Take it away, Tuaolo.
All right, hello. My name is Tuaolo again. I'm running Cat Quest 2 today. This is a fun, silly little ARPG, super cute, full of animal puns. You're going to love it if you haven't seen this game before. I do need to know who won our bid war.
Let me refresh to make sure we don't have anyone who has sniped it. Well, it was Cats. It was Cats with $220.65. A valiant effort from both parties. Thank you to everyone who donated, but it is going to Cats.
Let's go, Cats. All right, hold on. We're going to celebrate real quick here. I'll do it later, don't worry. Okay. We got a lot to go through here, but I'll be filling you in on all the story completely 100% accurately as I can as we go. We're going to be running this game in story mode. This is the any percent mode, so we're just going to be following the main quest line all the way through with a couple small deviations. Time is going to start here when I say I want to overwrite my file. So let's go in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so we wake up here in this little stone circle on this island out in the middle of nowhere with no idea what's going on. And then our friend Kiri, who I don't know what Kiri is, some kind of cat fairy thing, comes and like, oh my God, my kings, you're back. You're here to reclaim your throne, just as the prophecy foretold. We have no idea what's going on, so we're just going to go with that. So here we are in Tutorial Cave. So right now we're going to pick up our first two spells, Flame Purr and Freeze Paw, and we're going to be making heavy use of Flame Purr throughout this run. Freeze Paw gets a little love too. Our little "this is how you kill the mummy" things that our heroes look on in total confusion. And it lets us try it there, but we're just going to run right past them. We're going to be running right past most things in this game. So here Kiri tells the very evil rulers, Liner, the Persecutor, and Wolfen the Labrathor. And we get out here into the main world, and he tells us that the blacksmith Kit Kat has agreed to help us, and we should go talk to her. And we're going to do that in a minute, but because we are speedrunners, we need to take care of a couple things first that are going to help us out. So we're going to run up here to this save stone, and we're just going to save there in case something really bad happens and we need to spawn back. And then we are going to take our level 2 tails and run it through this dark forest with level 90 enemies, completely safe, totally wise, and then dip into this level 99 cave. So here, one of the things in this game is enemies have a definite aggro range, and you can use Freeze Paw to kind of slow down enemies and get out of their aggro range, which is something we're going to be doing a lot. So we're picking up 2 pieces of armor in here. It'll be some combination of the Skeleton Crown and the Skeleton King Armor. It could be one of each. It could be... oh, shoot. This is bad. Okay, so I kind of messed this up. Now I have to run around until I have a safe spot to do some damage. I need to get mana back. Okay. Well, this is what I get for talking. Let's see here. I need to aggro this guy again. Come on, guys. I think I have enough mana. There we go. That should be good. Okay. Off to a swimming start. So we have our completely overpowered armor now, and we take an intentional game over. And we'll go ahead and equip that. And then we're going to dip into this shrine here for a quick trial. These shrines are littered all over the realm. When you dip in here, it'll give you a few waves of enemies. And if you kill them all, you get a reward. So what we're going to get out of here is the Ranger Axe. There are 3 pieces of Ranger gear in this game. The axe, the vest, and the cap. And each one of them increases our roll speed by 20%. And rolling is our main form of movement in this game. So it's basically a speed up. So we get the axe here. We're going to get the cap as a guaranteed drop later. And hopefully we get the vest, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. So now that we have our completely overpowered armor and our Ranger axe, we're going to go over here and we're going to finally try and meet up with Kit. We get here and there's a note on her door that says, "Hey, I'll be right back." But Kiri tells us this has been 2 days and she hasn't been seen, and he's a little worried. But our doggo friend sniffs out her trail and leads back here where she cries out for help. So, oh no, she's in trouble. And we go in the cave, and the trouble she's in is she is way too lazy to go get this ore for herself. So she has just been in here for 2 days waiting. Yeah, very cat, very cat.
Me on a weekend.
Yeah, right. So we'll go ahead and we'll pick up the first ore, and then we're going to go here, and we'll get the second one for her. And then head back and bring them back. And she's thrilled. Oh my god, you guys are strapping young lads' heart. And our kitten is totally smitten. So we leave the cave, we go back to her little hut here. And this is where we find out that Lionel is totally evil because he is collecting taxes. The true mark of evil kings everywhere.
Boo.
I know, right? So we go in there, and we leave, and we come back out, and Kiri's like, "Hey, by the way, I've also secured help from the mages, which is great. So we're going to go over to the mage tower, and we're going to talk with them." So we get over here, and these guys are talking about the theory of infinite timelines, which is a little weird, but, you know, Marvel's everywhere these days, so whatever. And then they start freaking out because there's a dog, and they think they're being invaded. But Kiri floats up, and he's like, no, it's cool. These are the ones I told you about. Again, that seems weird, but we'll just go with it. So we go up here, and we upgrade Flame Purr to give it a power boost, because we're going to be using that, again, like I said, a lot. Come back outside, and the mages are freaking out because they are under attack from the guards. So the guards are here, and they have come to attack the mages with their pet, Mr. Rocky, who is extremely susceptible to elemental damage. Seems like a questionable plan to begin with, but we'll go with it. So we take care of them. Mages are eternally grateful. And Kiri's like, "Great, we have the help of a blacksmith, we have the help of some mages, you're ready to take back your throne," which is very fast, but we have this cool armor, so hey, maybe we're ready. So we go up here and we see Liner and his 2 little murder clowns planning some kind of surprise for somebody that they're not going to see coming. And then they go off in their separate directions. So we come up here. Come on, there we go. Kiri's like, "Hey, you remember which way he went, right?" And we're like, "No, Kiri, it was left." So we're going to follow the left trail. Down here where Lionel ran, and pop out here, and it's an ambush for us. Totally did not see that coming. So we'll dispatch the murder clowns. And then we'll dispatch Liner. Haha, just kidding. We can't actually do any damage to him at all. So we just whack on him a little bit to restore our mana, because that's how you restore mana in this game. And then we'll go way down here. He's going to come running at us with his amazing Stormtrooper aim. Check this out. Swing and a miss. But they taunt us like, "Haha, you can even hurt me, suckers." And then they leave. And we have to find our way back to the mainland. So we're going to go through here. And then we're going to meet this little guardian statue, this human with the deepest growl of anything in this game full of animals. And we'll just go ahead and dispatch this really quick. They start with a shield on them that you can't burst through until it comes down. So there we go. And I think I might pick up too much experience here. Yep, okay. Well, that's fine. There's an optimal amount of experience to pick up there, and it's mostly, it helps gain levels later, but it's fine. So now we're out. We got one of these king sigils, these royal sigils, which mark us as, the true rulers. And we also find out that we need to reforge the King's Blade, which, hey, Kit might know something about. So Kiri has us go back and talk to her again. And we aggroed one of those guys, so Kit dropped it there.
You cool if I jump in real quick here?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, I do want to say a quick hello to everyone who rated in. Hello, Freckles. I know you, friend of the community. For everyone who's just joining, you're watching Fastest First Fall Fest 2025 in support of Trans Lifeline. The mission of Trans Lifeline is to connect trans people to the community support and resources that they need to survive and thrive. They envision a world where trans people have the connection, economic security, and care that everyone needs and deserves, free of police, emergency responders, and prisons that disproportionately inflict violence and mistreatment on trans individuals. Since 2014, Trans Lifeline operators have answered over 100,000 calls from their peers, and we fully support the mission of Trans Lifeline to help empower trans people through the power of community and shared lived experience. If you want to learn more, you can visit translifeline.org, or we can do !donate in chat and get some donations in. I do also want to say we got a $20 donation from Lightpaw that went towards the cat versus dog bid war. That, of course, helped cats to take the lead to win it all. Their comment was just, meow. So, thank you so much, Lightpaw, for that. Currently, we have an incentive open, a really cool one, actually, for Delta Beats. That is coming up not too far in the future from this. It is the Hard Song Showcase. We still need about $485 for that, so please get your donations in. Please let me know your opinions about cats versus dogs or about rhythm games, because I'm happy to chat about either. So yeah, thank you so much. Back to you, Tuaolo.
Thank you. So Kit told us that, she knows about the King's Blade. In fact, she was one of the original forgers of it back in the day, but they shattered it and hid the shards, but she is the keeper of one of the shards. So she took us to that shrine to test us to make sure we were worthy, which is going to be a recurring thing in this game. And then after we beat her, she's like, hey, here's this key to King Leonardo's tomb over there. The shard's in there. You can go ahead and collect it. So we're just going to run through here real quick. And we're going to pick up the ninja katana here, which is going to be our main combat weapon. And from now on, Doggo here is actually going to be useful. He is going to be our movement character. So we switched the Ranger Axe over to the Doggo and put the ninja katana on the cat. So cat will be for combat and dog will be for movement. And I leveled up early, so we're going to have to do this a little carefully. So if you can manage your levels right, you can level up in the middle of this fight and restore your health, and you can basically face tank this guy a lot more. But I didn't do it quite right, which is fine. It's only a few seconds slower. And we have our first King Shard, so huzzah. We also have our first Royal Art, which lets us do damage to enemies when we roll through them. It's a minuscule amount of damage. It's pretty pathetic, actually, so we don't care about that at all. So we come out here, and Kiri's super impressed with us that we got a shard. They also seem very concerned that there was a dragon in there. They haven't been seen in some time. I have no idea what that's referring to. I think it might be the first Cat Quest game, which I have to be honest, I haven't played. But yeah, and then
Skipping
Lionel's.
straight to the sequel.
I know, right? And then we were being spied on. So now Liner and his clowns know that we have one of the shards. So in here, this cave is the one true bit of RNG in this game. This chest has a 1 in 7 chance of containing the Ranger Vest, and we're really hoping to see that. The cap. Okay. Not terrible. So what that means is I'm going to speed up a little bit now, but then when we get the guaranteed cap later, I'm not going to speed up again. So now we're going to go over to the King's Marker here. This is the game's sort of fast travel system, which we will be using quite a bit. And we're going to head back up to Kit's hut. And she is very excited that we have found one of the shards. And now to get the next shard, oops, she tells us that we need to go to the Dog Kingdom and meet Hado. And Kiri's like, "You mean Hado Doggo, the world's greatest blacksmith?" And she's like, "Excuse me, right here." So we do this little escort here, and we find out that Kit and Hato have a little bit of history, and she is very displeased with him. She's big mad. So she's a little bitter that we have to go meet up with him, but whatever, she's going to take us there. And we have a minute here if you want to jump in with anything else.
Yeah, of course. Well, in addition to the Delta Beats incentive, we also now have one for Delta Rune. So you can choose your Delta here. The Delta Rune incentive is to name the file. That is a 12-character maximum. I fear it cannot be Gaster in this case. Those who know. So donations either for Delta Beats or Delta Rune. We do want to see that Delta Beats incentive get met pretty quickly here. Still looking for $485 to close that one out. So get those donations in, friends.
All right, so this is the bridge between kingdoms. It's been closed since they went to war, but Kit unlocked it for us, and inside we get ambushed by Lionel and his clowns again. So we're gonna go ahead and just beat up on them again, but they are distinctly tougher than last time. Still not a challenge because we have this this level 99 armor. So we beat up them. We still can't hurt Lionel, but it's okay because Kit comes up and she has the power of red lines. Liner's very upset about this. And then she's like, "Yeah, I can't beat him up, so just run." We are way ahead of her. So here we are out in the Dog Kingdom. She's like, "Great, now that I got you this far, I'm definitely not taking you any further." But there's Hado's place up there. So we'll just come right up here, pass through Pound Town. And we get to Hado's place, and there's a note on the door. That's a thing with blacksmiths in this kingdom, apparently. But he's up north, so we're gonna go try and get to him. But these soldiers are like, "Hey, Lord Wolfen's orders, we can't let you through." And then they freak out because there's a cat. But Doggo's like, "Don't worry, he's my prisoner, even though he's way more geared than me." And they're like, "Okay, cool, but we still can't let you through." So we're gonna run around and we're gonna ask for some help. And this peasant here tells us like, "Hey, the guards really love biscuits, and there's a biscuit seller down in Pound Town." So we come down here and we talk to him, and he tells us like, "Hey, my favorite bone is stuck in that cave over there. So if you can get it, I will give you the biscuits." So we run down here. We're going to aggro all these bones, but these are not the bones we're looking for.
Your bones are in another castle.
They are. So we're going to pick up the one particular we want, and then we're also going to pick up the fire staff that we are going to need for exactly a fight and a half. Well, 3/4 of a fight, I guess. So we come back out here, give him the bone, gives us the biscuits. We're like, "Sweet, we got biscuits." We're going to go up here. We're going to give the biscuits to the guards. And they're like, sweet, dereliction of duty. And they're just going to run off and leave their posts. So we pass through and meet up with Kiri. However, Kiri got through. Won't question it. And then we meet Kiri up here, and Kiri's like, Hato's got to be around here somewhere. He's set up north. And we see Wolfen and this soldier talking, like, hey, we've actually got Hato trapped. Our guards are going to take care of him. So we're like, hey, do you want to tell us where? But they're looking for us. They know what's up, so they attack. Not a problem to beat them up. And now that we've proven we're way stronger, he's like, Wolfen's over there, by the way. You can just, you can go get him. So we're going to roll on over here, and we will see that Wolfen, or not Wolfen, geez, sorry, Hato, didn't really need our help. He has definitely dispatched everyone who came after him. But he knows who we are, and he needs us to prove our strength to him. Again, common theme. So we'll just go do this. This will take a minute if you have anything you want to jump in with.
Yeah, I want to let folks know this is specific to today. If you happen to be watching Fastest First Fall Fest from the Seattle, Washington area, we have a fun idea for you. Our friends at Slightly Furry Beverage Company are holding a Fall Fest 2025 watch party and donation drive at their tap room this weekend during normal operating hours. You can watch Fall Fest in person, you can enjoy a great assortment of drinks and snacks, all in an openly queer and furry environment. And as a special bonus, our planned run of Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, which is tonight with Killing Pepsi, is going to be live from their tap room. So we hope you consider supporting Slightly Furry, pack in the house if you are able, and if you want more info on that, you can go to slightlyfurry.com.
Awesome. So we beat Hato, we proved we're worthy, and we come back over here. And he tells us that, hey, yep, the next shard is up over in the northeast there. You guys can go ahead and grab it. But we need to do a couple things first. So we're going to head over this way. A little too far north. There we go. So we're going to go into this cave, and we're going to grab another spell. It's going to help us out. This one is Graveruff. So this one puts a black hole on the ground that pulls enemies toward it. And we're going to use this to either draw enemies away from us to drop aggro, or to corral enemies into areas where we can beat them up without them running away. And then we're going to go into this super secret cave here, and we're going to grab a key. And when we grab this key, we feel something unlock somewhere, which seems like a very sensitive, way to go. I have no idea how you did that. So once we have that, we come over here. We're just going to unlock this King's Marker real quick. So we'll pop in and out of here. And then we're going to go into this hidden stash where we unlocked that door. And we're going to put a black hole down there to draw him away from us, and drop aggro and collect a lot of money, and then quit out. So we're going to head toward another shrine here in a minute. And at the end of that shrine, we're going to get a messenger with some not great news. He's going to deliver a little bit of a nasty gram to us. And we kind of have a choice at that point. We can either spare the messenger, or we can kill the messenger. And we're going to leave that up to you all. So I think they're going to put a poll in the chat here to help us decide what we do with the messenger who delivers that nasty gram. While we do that, we're going to go ahead and use all the gold we've collected so far to dump a bunch of levels into our katana. And then we're going to go into this shrine. And we come in here, and there's Wolfen staring longingly at the King Shard. And we need to make our way through to him. probably have a minute here too, so if you have any more announcements, feel free.
Well, I'm looking for our rhythm gamers. I feel like they're snoozing right now. We have a rhythm game block upcoming that does include Delta Beats, and we are currently going towards that hard song showcase. The cutoff for that is the end of that run, so we have a little bit of time left still because we still have this and an art showcase, which I'm super excited about as well. But yeah, please go get those in. And I wanna talk about cats and dogs here. So tell me your thoughts. Tell me cats versus dogs. I know the bid war is technically ended, but the debate will never end. So let me know.
Also, I know you've been watching, you've been seeing all the puns all over this game. Donate with like your favorite animal puns. Make Captain Kate read your
Absolutely.
terrible, terrible animal puns.
Put animal noises in there and make me meow and bark, because I will. I don't have shame.
There you go. So here we're going to beat up on Wolfen, and then we're going to get our messenger. How is that poll looking?
Let me take a look for you. We have Spare the Messenger slightly in the lead currently. How long do we have on that?
Right now.
All right, it's gonna be Spare the Messenger then.
Whew, okay.
Barely,
Oh
barely.
no! Oh no! I messed up. Oh my god. Well, I'm terrible. I'm an awful person. He has like 1 HP. He's just a little puppy, and I killed him. Oh,
No.
I swear that wasn't the plan. Like I was on the wrong character, and my roll distances were off, and I missed.
All right, people who voted for that one, cherish the
All right.
moment.
I'm sorry, chat. I'm
It was
terrible.
close. It was a close pull. No
Okay.
fear.
I will throw out some gift subs later to make up for that. All right, so we came back and we tell Hato like, "Hey, Wolfen beat us to the King Shard. We're not sure what to do now." And he's like, "Well, you're gonna have to go into the city to get it, and that's just what you're gonna have to do." So we come out here and there's this guard and he's like, "Oh no, the elite canine unit has found us. We might have a problem." So he kind of looks and you can see the path is just littered with these guards. Because that is where we need to get. He's like, so you can go through them, or you can go through the Bakar Desert, but I don't really know the way, so you're going to have to figure that out yourself. I trust in you to find the right answer. And we're like, cool, the right answer is actually C, neither of those. We're going to go down here. And because we were already over there and we already unlocked the King's marker, we're just going to take the back way. So come up here. And we'll dispatch this guard really quick. Come in here and like, whoa, this is an interesting palace. And who is that guy? So we saw something we weren't supposed to see. We're here in the 0 dimension. And Wolfen and a couple of his clones are going to get the jump on us. They're not too tough, though. We come up, and all of a sudden Kiri pops out, and now Kiri has the power of red lines. Everybody has the power of red lines except us. So we go ahead and we grab the King's Shard while Wolfen can do nothing about it, and then we teleport out of there. So now Hato's like, cool, we've got the 2 shards. We should probably go back and talk to Kit and see what we can do. So we're going to go back down here again. And we're going to fast travel back to the Cat Kingdom. Drop aggro on that guy. Oh, come on, there you go. And pop in here. So Kit and Hato meet up again for the first time, and they're kind of bitter at each other and snipping a little bit. But the two halves of the King's emblem that they have join, and it tells us that the final shard, the final piece of the King's blade, is in this cave up here. So we need to go run up here and grab it from Pern Cave. So we go up here. We'll use Graveruff to draw those guys away. And there's no shard here, but there is this thing that is apparently a map, and it's pointing us over to the west. So we're going to need to go over there to collect our shard. So we roll through this forest, which burns us, but whatever. And we're going to come over here and meet up with Kiri, who's looking across the ocean. And Kiri's like, hey, unless you can walk on water, haha, we're kind of screwed right now. But there's a port town to the south, so maybe talk to them and they can help us. So we're like, all right, that makes sense. So we're going to go down here to the port town, and we're going to ask them about like maybe having a boat or something. Or actually, no, just kidding. We're going to ask them about water walking, because that makes sense. But the governor here is like, funny you should talk that. I was Marie Kondoing the lighthouse the other day and found the first mayor's old journal, and he talks about that. But some of the pages flew away, and I need you to go collect them. Fortunately, our doggo friend here can sniff out pages. So we're just going to run around and collect those. I love this one. This line goes everywhere. And you just need to go up here. So the pages kind of give us clues to where things are. And we come back over here. And this is where we would get the Ranger cap if we didn't already have it. So it just upgrades it in level, but that doesn't activate its ability any further, which is unfortunate. He's like, now there's one final page, but it's being stubborn, and wait, there it is. So we just need to go run over and grab it. I mean, just go run over and grab, run over, run. Dang it. So it just led us on this crazy chase all the way into this cave. So you can see a lot of the time I'm rolling way further away from things. That's to try and drop aggro so that we can interact with objects. Sometimes you can get him to kill himself on those spikes there. So we picked up the last page, and we also got this weird artifact where it was. It led us right to that. So we give the artifact and the final page to the governor. And he's like, cool, we need to take these back to the lighthouse to do what we need to do with them. So we go over here to the lighthouse. He's going to run upstairs. He's going to pull a small crystal off the top and do whatever instructions the journal have.
Can I jump in real quick with a donation?
Yeah, please.
Absolutely. So we have $4.21 saying dogs are better than cats, but here we are. And that comes to us from Moo. I lost track of how many O's there are. Ooh.
Hey,
we're still going. Ooh. Yes, don't forget to assign those to incentives and bid wars. We have information about that on Fastest Fur's website if you want to check out all the extra details, or if you just want to donate to the Messenger's medical fund. We really didn't mean to do that. He could probably use a little bit of help. I don't know how the healthcare system is in this game, so if you could dig around in your couch, see what you've got, we just, for his sake.
Poor Messenger. I feel so bad. You all were so good. You were merciful, and I was terrible. So anyway, we went inside this crystal, and we kind of end up in this realm, and we find the first mayor in here. And the first mayor is like, well, I need to challenge you to make sure you're worthy of this. Again, that's a theme. So we beat up the Guardian, and now we have to beat up the mayor himself. which is not too difficult. And then we're going to roll right up here and grab the artifact of water walking. So now we can walk on water. So the first mayor stays behind because he's just a spirit and he can't follow us back to the real world. But yeah, oceans are not a thing for us anymore. We can go anywhere in the world we want. And the first thing we're going to do is go across the Cat Kingdom really quick and up into this level 200 cave. And we are going to attract this very, very obvious Monty Python reference to us. Come on, buddy. There you go. You just hang out down there. And we're going to grab a couple pieces of armor here. And then just reset our way out of the cave. So those are very endgame pieces of armor. But again, because of the mechanics of the game, we can just drop aggro on things and open chests at will. So now we are a murder clown. And we're going to go up here, and now we can finally get the final shard. So we go through this area. This asks us a bunch of questions to make sure we've been paying attention to the story. We haven't, but the answers are always the same, so it doesn't really matter. And then we have to fight another dragon to get our final shard. There we go. We have all 3 king shards, and now we can finally assemble the king blade. So we go out here. Kiri's very excited. He's like, hey, Kit and Hato are waiting for us. Let's go. So we come here. We're going to assemble the shards to make the king's blade, and we're pulled into the 0 dimension. And here's Alias. And here's Lionel and Wolfen. And uh-oh, plot twist. Well, first they take the shards. And now plot twist, they're us. Oh no, what? So it turns out, yeah, Kiri's freaking out right now because he's like, oh man, I'm in trouble. Turns out Kiri convinced the mages to pull us into this kingdom from an alternate timeline, which is why the mages were talking about the theory of infinite timelines, to help him restore order to the kingdom. And has basically been lying to us the whole time about who we are and why we're here. So now that we're in the 0 dimension, everybody's being confronted with their darkest demons. Kiri's here is basically like, hey, everything wrong in the kingdom is your fault. But we smack that away, and then Kiri's like, hey, I'm really sorry I lied to you this whole time. Do you forgive me? And we're just like, okay, sure. I think I'd be a little more upset than that, but whatever. And then we come over here and we see Kit and Hato also dealing with their deepest, darkest inner selves. And we're going to come over here and we're going to find out that their inner selves are basically saying, like, you think cats are lazy and arrogant, and you think dogs are smelly and stupid, which, like, okay, no lies anywhere.
Fight, fight, fight!
I know. Also, that seems slightly less dark than everything wrong in the kingdom is your fault, but, you know, people have different problems. We'll go with it. So we smack away their dark selves, and this is where Kit and Hato resolve their differences and become friends again. So now they're all buddies. And, hey, there's a way out over there. So we have a minute while I kind of roll out of here, if you have anything.
I do indeed. We have $15 from Sev, who says, for the Messenger Puppy Memorial Fund. Can I get a sad woo from the host? Of course you can.
Oh, oh
Oh.
my God, that's breaking my heart.
I know. Well, we still need what, $450, about that, to fix this messenger, to get him back on his feet, or on his paws rather. So please keep contributing to that fund. I know he fell into the abyss, but we can get him back. We can get him back.
Okay, so we end up on this island, and there's this tomb over here, but it's like, hey, you need to find the 3 symbols of valor to get in. So we come over here. We have to go through these caves, and kind of get the symbols in each one. So that was the trial of valor. I'm not sure what was valorous about what we just did, but whatever. And we got the key of mercy. So now we go into the cave of mercy. When in this cave, we're going to... Oh no, I messed that up. Okay, come on. Oh my God. Okay, so somehow that was merciful, but we'll go with it.
Listen, I've learned that mercy and your definition of it may be somewhat skewed.
Right? So now we go into the cave of virtue. Ouch, dang. And that was virtuous. So, I'm not sure what these caves actually have to do with anything they talk about, but we won't worry about it. So now that we've gone through all 3 of those, we can open Feeling Guard's tomb. And come up here. And like, hey, there's nothing in here but this weird stone. But we talk to it, and it's basically like, real power isn't king shards or swords or sigils. It's the friends you made along the way. And I guess that's great, but it lets us water walk again, so we will go with it. So now that we can water walk again, we're going to go make our way back to the mainland. And we need to get... Oh, here we find out that Liner has doubled taxes, so now he's really upset. But we do need to get our shards back from Liner and Wolfen. So we're gonna spy on them and figure out what's up, because they each took 1 of them. And they're convinced that those shards are going to help them win the war against each other. So Liner's up here talking to his murder clowns, and they're like, hey, Wolfen expects us to make a frontal attack, so we're going to go through the 0 dimension to get him. He totally won't see that. We're like, oh no, okay, well, let's go see what Wolfen's up to. So we come over here to this side of the kingdom, and we're going to spy in on Wolfen. And it turns out that, yeah, they know the attack is coming through the 0 dimension. They're also freaking out a little bit that we found Feeling Guard's tomb. Somehow they know about that. And they absolutely cannot let us find the Tomb of Lupus. So he runs off, and we're like, hey, we should probably go find that Tomb of Lupus. So we're going to go talk to Hado to figure out where that is. So we're going to roll over this way. Please pay no mind to Cthulhu. And Hado comes out, and he's like, oh man, like, you need to get to the Tomb of Lupus? Cool. I think it's this tomb over here. Also, by the way, I had this key that was a gift, and I have no idea what it was for until now, which is an amazing bit of insight. I have no idea how he figured that out, but we'll go with it. So we're going to roll our way up here. And we have a minute here while I do this. If you'd like to fill in some time.
Yeah, so I want to remind everyone about that Delta Beats incentive. We are making some good progress, but we have a ways to go. As a reminder, that is for the Hard Song Showcase. So really what that means is more marathon with your marathon, and I know you want that. And I know you also probably want to make me make more strange animal sounds and help the puppy who may or may not have been spared, you know. It's ambiguous. We'll leave it ambiguous. So make sure you get those in and assign those donations to an incentive or a bid war. Yeah, I'd love to read. I'd love to read what you have to say. Tell me what's on your mind this morning or afternoon, time zone.
Okay, so we went in there. We got our final royal art, which now when we crit, like we do this like AOE burst around the enemy we crit, which is really powerful. Especially with this ninja katana we have crit equipped, that increases our crit rate. So we saved and we quit out to get back to Hato's place pretty quick. And we're going to come over here and upgrade the fire staff because we're going to finally need this soon after picking it up so long ago. I'm curious, like, all right, well, now we got to go do what I actually brought you here for. You've got to defeat Liner and Wolf, and we think you're ready. So we're going to start with Liner and go up here. And make our way back to the Cat Kingdom. Ah, okay. So we find out, hey, Liner's Palace is also in the 0 dimension. This is odd, but you kind of should have been expecting it at this point. So here's Liner and Alias and his murder clowns, and we have to take care of these three one final time. Liner's going to call in a couple guards with us, or to fight with him. So we got to take out all 5 of these. I'm going to focus here because this is actually a little bit difficult. Okay, so we've got most of it down for the first phase, so now we're going to switch to our Fire Wand. Okay. So that's phase 1. Liner's very impressed that we were able to finally beat him. And because, hey, it's because 2 paws are better than 1. And then Liner comes back with, let me show you what my paws can do, which, ooh, buddy, I don't know if that's the phrasing you want to go with, but this phase is, as long as I don't do something like that. Oh, no, no, no. Get out of there. Okay. Ooh, okay. So one thing in this game, equipping magic weapons lowers your health by half, lowers your max health by half. So that is a dicey fight. But we made it, and we'll be putting the katana back on. So Kiri's very sad. We have killed one of his old friends. But we have to do, and we come out here, and the townspeople are celebrating. They're like, does this mean no more taxes? And Kiri's just like, get out of here, go. So we're going to roll our way back over to the Dog Kingdom now, and we're going to go take care of Wolfen. So again, we walk in. There he is, right there waiting for us. But as usual, he's a master of illusions, and he's tricked us. So phase one of this fight is not too difficult. Just beat up on him. So now that we've got through phase one, Wolfen calls in his guards and he's like, hey, kill them. And they're like, nah, boss, peace out. But then he's like, fine, who needs loyalty when I can just make copies of myself, which is a massive amount of copium. But if that's what you want to go with, Wolfen, good for you. But we found the real one. We beat it up. And then I am going to focus again here for a minute. Oh, you're gonna do it right there, aren't you? Yeah. Okay, cool. Little slow, but not bad. So again, Kiri, very sad. But now Alias is here. He's been kind of pulling the strings this whole time. And he's like, hey, maybe you two are actually the ones I've been looking for. And then we kind of make our way out of there. And this soldier comes running up and he's like, a black hole has appeared in the middle of the ocean. So we have one more thing we've got to go take care of.
Those pesky black holes always appearing
know,
in my
right?
oceans.
In the ocean. So we're going to come in here, and Alias is going to give us the usual bad guy pitch, like, join me and we can be stronger than ever, blah, 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 blah. And we're just like, nah, thanks, buddy. Yeah, that's our nope right there. So now we're going to see his true form. Ooh.
That is neither a cat nor a dog.
No, yeah, that is something else entirely. Okay, cool. So phase one, we beat him up. He's pretty impressed with our power. And here come all our friends like, hey, we're here to help you. Everyone's feeling great that they're all together and they're helping each other out. And we feel this energy building up inside of us, and we just Scott Pilgrim the King's Blade. So Alias is freaking out a little bit now because, oh my god, they have the King's Blade. And you can see how quickly that took care of him. So we have defeated Alias. We're good. The kingdom is safe. Everybody splits, and have we? But we're out here, and Kiri's like, cool, there's one last thing. Meet me back where we met, where this all started. So we're coming. We're going to talk to Kiri, and then time is going to be when the big group selfie pops up on the screen. So Kiri tells us, like, hey, I have to send you back to your timeline. Also, you won't remember any of this. But Kit and Hato show up, and group hug before we go time. And that is the story about how we were hired to commit regicide, and we won't even know it. So this kingdom's in chaos now with no leaders. Maybe it'll be Kit and Hato. Maybe they'll have elections. Maybe it's no kings, la 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 la. We don't know. Maybe we'll find out in Cat Quest 3. Anyway, yeah, that is Cat Quest 2.
Thank you so much for that incredible run, Tuaolo. Well done. Do you have any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, like I want to shout out the Fastest Furs team, all the volunteers, and especially the staff. Um, they work so hard on this, and as runners and volunteers, we see just like a fraction of what they do. It's pretty incredible what they've built here with this community and with this marathon. So like big props to them, and also to Trans Lifeline for the amazing work they do. Um, so necessary, so needed, especially now. So can't respect them enough for that.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you everyone who donated during that run. I hope the cat or sorry, the messenger is doing all right. But yeah, thank you. Thank you Tuaolo so much for that incredible run.